Can you hear me? Good?
Yes.
Yeah, all is well. Great. Well, here we are. Nothing new in non-duality. I hope it's been affording you a traveling lighter throughout your day, and the new basis has set in. And we had a thing yesterday, I think it was yesterday at the recovery meeting, where I'd like to riff on it again. There's a statement in recovery in the big book of AA, which is pretty interesting. It says, self-knowledge avails us nothing. So it's an incredible statement, really. Because obviously it sounds weird, because knowledge seems to be prized or held in a lofty state for many of us. But in this case, there's something being implied in the word self that causes knowledge to be of no avail. It's not the fault of the knowledge, but it's given that condition by self, this idea of being the one who has the knowledge. So acquiring knowledge under the idea of the one who has the knowledge on one very important topic, what we are, it avails us nothing. Yet, if you just change the emphasis or where the words stand and put knowledge of self, that has a completely different effect than self-knowledge. Knowledge of self tells you why self-knowledge avails you nothing. That's what it does. Knowledge of self demonstrates, self-knowledge demonstrates the failure of that knowledge, but what actually gives you the understanding of it to see it is knowledge of self. And hopefully that what happens quite a lot in satsang, and what we're calling self is the small s, the sense of being the doer when actions are happening, the feeler, the thinker, the habit-a-loser, that sense, not the largest sense of everywhere, everything at all times. So this sense of individuality, which it is a sense of, that individuality, acquiring knowledge, the knowledge is resting on a misunderstanding of individuality, yeah? So the knowledge can be beautiful. It's just like when some people are introduced to, let's say, the Tao Te Ching, incredibly beautiful take on how to travel, or an expression of traveling lighter in this event, yet that knowledge will avail them nothing, in a sense, when it's being claimed by self, yeah? So you may get an intellectual understanding, but you can't seem to grasp the living of it because of the one who's thinking they're trying to grasp the living of it, yeah? So the knowledge of self is about that which is the triggering of self-knowledge, which is the sense when knowledge is heard or seen or listened to, there's a claiming of that, and then there's the one who listened to it, or the seer or the hearer. And this is what happens in satsang. The hearer gets emphasized, and then you lose the meaning of the hearing, yeah? And now you become a hearer, and I've been to 50 satsangs and and I know, I get it, but it's not translating into a traveling lighter. Why is that? Well, it could be that there's that knowledge is being claimed by self, and now it's availing you nothing, yeah? So this is knowledge of self. And what you learn is that whatever you get in contact with through consciousness, the mental state claims that and implies that infers another, which is a noun, so to speak. So there's the claiming of living and thinking and feeling and tasting and touching and having problems and not having problems. And it implies that there's a noun before all that. And the noun is the one that's doing it, having the problem, thinking it, seeing it, hearing it. Yeah. And so this claiming of the knowledge, or the claiming of what's going on, neuters the sense of what's going on. The real knowledge that living could give us is that we are a verb, so to speak. Yes. But how it's being claimed as knowledge, as self, is by a noun, yeah, which avails us nothing once again. So this idea of and it's all emphasis, yeah. If the emphasis is on knowledge of self, and self is put to an after position instead of self-knowledge, which has self as the dominant position, you see, quote unquote, self completely differently, yeah. So when self acquires knowledge of Buddhism and it looks at everything from a Buddhist point of view, it doesn't look at you as a Buddhist point of view, or it may conceptually, but you'll think you're a self that's becoming a non-self. There'll be, instead of that, there was no self to begin with, which is knowledge of self. Yeah. So knowledge of self is that self is actually an idea that's implied by an activity called selfing. Yeah, that's knowledge of self. Yeah. So hopefully that's what gets imparted here. So we can describe what's describable. So selfing can be described, and how selfing leads to this sense of being a self. And that sense of individuality lends itself to this idea that there's a sense of free will. And then you want to go to meetings and talk about, is there free will or predetermination, without looking at the sense of individuality. So you see now the knowledge of, is this free will or predetermination, is availing you nothing, because it's being preceded by a misunderstanding that it's you that feels like it has free will. That it's you that thinks that it's all predetermined. There is no you. That's the point. Yeah. And I do not believe self-knowledge is going to bring you there. Yeah. What it's going to do is fail you, with the hopes that you can finally see it. And in that seeing it, as it fails us, that would be called knowledge of self. That's what it would be. And then what occurs is the constant negating of that assumption is a knowing that was not acquired. It's not acquired by satsang, or by studying non-duality, or Dzogchen. It's already there. It's a knowledge before knowledge. It's a knowing, let's say, as someone brought about here. There's a knowingness that there was never not a knowingness. Yeah. So it's an inner resource that's maybe unsuspected, but it's not absent. It's there, always there, but it may be unsuspected, because how we're trying to see it is from the blindness of self. Yeah. So then it keeps going on to be unsuspected, because we're relying on an outer resource, which is this selfing. We're relying on self, and therefore we don't find ourselves in the true reliance on, well, there's no ourselves, but we don't find the possibility of reliance on the infinite. Yeah. Which is not something you acquire. It's a knowing already, that's always been the case. Yeah. That the false platform was never a real platform. It was always a false platform. The highest level it can reach is appearing to be true to us. It can't reach a truth. The truth it has is that it's not truthful. Yes. So, and really that knowing is see, if there's an acquired knowledge, you may have to chant about it and try to remember it and do affirmations concerning it. But this knowing doesn't require that. It's pulsating all the time. Yeah. It's truly the easiest, softer, really no way. And if there's an ideation or a love for knowledge, you may not be that knowledge may be substituting for this knowing. Yes. And so what's so beautiful about that knowledge is going to fail you. And when it fails you, you're going to drop back, hopefully, in that's what you never left, the knowing of what you're not from what you are. Yeah. Right now, there's a seeing of what we're not from what we are, but is there a knowing of what we're not? Yeah. If there's a seeing, there's a feeling. You have to keep duplicating the seeing. The knowing takes the place of duplicating. The knowing is there, seeing it or not. Yes? Yeah. It's just much easier than we can think, really. It's sort of like that, what Ramesh was trying to get through to us the day I was over there in Bombay, about, you leave to go to work. Do you forget that you have a place to live because you're at work? No. Yeah. And if you stay late at work, are you more apt to forget that you have a place to live? No, I won't. If your work is really in a distant state or another country, is that going to convince you that you don't have a place? No, it probably won't. There's a knowledge, there's something that doesn't get disrupted by conditions changing, lengthening. Yeah. They don't change the fact, just like the time. I had it as an incredible living example. When I was trucking around the world, I didn't have a place to live. And so I walked into the most incredible rug emporium, and I had a built-in immunity to the temptation to buy a rug because I didn't have a floor, Floor. And it didn't matter how long I stayed in that rug emporium, I was not going to buy a rug. And even when they told me they could fold it up and put it in my backpack, I still wasn't going to go to Thailand with an Oriental rug in the backpack. Yeah. So no matter how beautiful, and it wasn't that it was beautiful, wasn't beautiful. It was incredible, yet there was no need for it. There was an essential knowing that there was no need. I had no flaw, so I had an immunity to all those advertisings and temptations, if you want to call it. So, in this case, in traveling this life, what's going to be your home? What's going to be the condition that's going to override all the other conditions? Yeah. And there'll be a knowing of the other conditions from that condition. To me, that's it. That's this message. Yeah. Yeah. This is not conditional knowledge that if you're at the non-dual retreat, you feel, oh, I'm totally into it. It's not based on other conditions. It actually outshines other conditions. It brings a light to other conditions. So you're not searching for light in those other conditions. Yeah. So maybe you can enjoy a lot of what's going on because there's no desire or drive to find anything in it, because you know already that which can't be lost. And I don't mean know here. I mean know in your gut. I feel satsang sometimes first hits this point, but it always drops sooner or later. Yes? So this is knowing, and then it's not knowing. It's dualistically determined. So there's a being convinced, and then you feel unconvinced 30 seconds later. There's another level of knowing that doesn't have that thing going on. It doesn't have, oh, I forgot. No. The surface, there could be a feeling of forgot. The underlying is never remembered or forgotten. Yeah, it's truly reliable. It's always available at all times, right where you are, no matter what condition you think you're in. Yeah, it's beautiful. So, and if you've had it, you'll sense it by this talk. If you felt that knowledge before knowledge, you'll feel it now. Yeah, that's what's reliable. It's because it's not determined on you. It's not based on you. Finally, it's before you, before the belief that you forgot something. Yeah, it's before all that. It negates all that, all those things. It negates the idea of that you have to get into the moment for some reason you believe you have the great ability to be out of the moment. It just completely blows all that stuff out of the pipes. Yeah, you just have, and it doesn't change. You're never fooled again. You're never thinking, I'm out of the moment, ever, ever, ever. There may be thoughts, but there's never you thinking it. Yeah, you're so here. And the wisdom of no escape is there's a surrender to that. Finally, I've been trying to get out of here since I was 6 years old. I tried so many things to try to get out of what I thought I was in. Yeah. This is a completely novel direction. It tells me I'm not in that which I so fervently want to get out of. Yeah. That's the beauty of it. Yeah. So now I'm not trying to get out of what I'm not in, and I'm not trying to get into what I'm not out of. Yeah, it's just very clear, simple, but reliable, day in and day out. Yes, blue is blue, red is red. Yeah, as they say in Zen. Yes, you can see the shades, but blue is blue and red is red. That's how it goes. So I'm happy to be here. I hope you are. And let's open it up, brother.
Okay. Anybody want to raise their hands? Gary's got his hand up. Hi, Gary. You're muted.
Okay, how about now?
Yep.
Thanks.
Got it.
I liked it better when you were muted, but whatever. Let's go.
Because he's so
Yeah, me
handsome, right?
too.
You like to look at him.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. What I'm appreciating right now is in that story of Ramesh Valjakar is how you don't have to think about whether you have a house to prove it all the time. It's not even on your mind. Somehow that's, I'm really appreciating that. It's like it really doesn't take any effort. I don't even have to, who cares? It's a non-issue. So I'm really appreciating that part of the story. It
Yes.
doesn't take my constant effort to remember it. It's there if I ever want to go think about it, but it's unnecessary.
Yes.
I love
It's
that.
one issue. Yes. What
No
would
effort.
happen, Gary? What happens if something that has been a huge issue becomes a non-issue? There's a lot more interest and attention bringing it in new information. Yes, because that big
Yeah.
issue has been put to rest. Yeah, yeah. Nice, eh?
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah. Very nice. Yeah, exactly. I mean,
I guess laid back would be a good term for that.
yeah, and the thing is it's not a denying of anything. Yeah. It's just an obviousness. Now, having a house has a lot of stabilizing effects. Maybe if it's not a huge mortgage, you can always find something. But the sense that there's a home that you can rest in, yeah, while you're
Mhm.
seemingly not in that home and resting, it takes away a huge issue from the mental activity. Yeah, it puts something to rest that the mental activity's agitation can't stir up. Yeah, which is beautiful,
Right.
isn't it?
Yeah. It's
So
like
the mind
security is
itself,
one of those essential things.
in a sense, and so the most essential thing is this home in us. Yes, this nature, this inherent nature of the being is a huge freaking issue. When it's quote unquote solved, it's awesome. It has a monstrous effect on everything else going on. It's that profound, way beyond having a house. The sense of being what you are puts to rest a lot of freaking issues. And one of the biggest issues is looking for it. Yeah. It's an incredible, what a like it's like you bought something in the past, and then when you're able to return it, you get so much more back. Yeah. You return that issue, you just you say fuck it, whatever, and then what's given back is the real raw living that you were thinking of in a conceptual way, in the looking for the issue, so to speak. Yes, you really have a sense of okayness, as if someone who finds themselves in a lot of different weather conditions has a knowledge of having a house that they're going to get back to. Yeah, this is sort of the effect it has. It's really the nucleus of traveling lighter.
Yeah.
Is
Security
being
in any
being
circumstance.
not driven to become, but being something already is an incredible leveler. Yeah, yes. And then it's rooted in that knowing before knowing. Yeah, it doesn't need to be reestablished and gone over and anything. Yeah, maybe you need it to be, so that's fine. You take care of your need about it, but it's not its need. Yeah. So when people say something to me at these meetings and they present it with, I really feel like I need to do something, that's not its need, that's their need. So you better do it. Yeah. Because you have to sort of, you're going through the toll booths of your own requirement. You got to pay the toll. Yeah. But the point is, you're going to get into that open free highway where there's no toll gate. There's no tolls anymore. Yeah. The sense of that being is that knowledge before all the other knowledge. So a lot of shit that were big issues become muted. Yes. Wow. Incredible. Really. So it makes it easier to hear the note when a lot of the miscellaneous notes have been like diminished. Yes. The anxiety that can come from all this shit. Yeah. I'm out of the moment, all this stuff. It all gets fucking it all gets reclaimed, and it brings about a sense of undirected attention and interest, which is presence. And now you have a strong sense of presence, because you're not trying to get it or believing you've lost it. It's just been, you've convinced. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The tide rolls back where it came from.
Yeah. So it's a big freaking issue. Yeah. That causes a lot of disputes. Yeah, when it's handled by that which is chaotic and based on other conditions, this idea of Paul, but the knowledge of that sense brings such a leavening agent to all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're really, I know there's no here more, but it feels like you're more here than ever. Yeah. You're just totally like anchored now, whatever that now is. whatever that now is appearing in this time movie, you're anchored. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. Without any thought of effort. Yeah.
Yeah, without thought or effort.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's a great solution.
Yeah. It is. The solution is there is no problem. That's a great solution. You don't have to make any room to store the solution or have to remember to keep, taking it with you. It's just,
Mhm.
it negates the meaning of all the problems. And it's as if there's no need for a solution. That's a great solution. Yeah. The issues
Yeah.
aren't flaring up all the time. I'm not having existential angst ever. Man, that's
And
beautiful to have that issue put to rest.
yeah.
Yeah.
And in the occasion that it seems like the angst has risen up, it's not real.
It can't
It
go too
isn't.
high. Yeah, it can't go too far. It always returns back to that knowing. Yeah. And it wants it's like a flower that the bloom would be an issue. It never flowers. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
It threatens it.
Okay.
It says it's going to. It says it's sad, but it doesn't. You can't throw the ball
Nice.
far enough or high enough to break that gravity. Yes, it's beautiful.
Mhm. It
Yeah.
always comes home.
Yes, that's what Raman, I thought, was implying. He talked, the whole idea of self-inquiry is to follow wherever you think something has gone and let it return, because everything returns to self, the big S self.
Mm.
And in that return, it's never left. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. So he said, just ask,
Yeah.
who am I or from whence I come? Because all of the going, yeah, the coming is the same. Yeah, you've never left that. Yeah, that's a pretty
The
nice,
best birthday present.
that's like a flavor that enhances every other ingredient of your life. Yeah.
MSG, yeah,
Yeah.
for
That
life.
you have a home. Yes. And it's like the immediate relief that the prodigal son got when he just finally admitted that he was outmatched, and he stopped blaming himself for all the shit, and immediately everything was forgotten and everything was whole again. Yeah. As if it took no
Right.
time whatsoever to become whole, because it had never been what it thought it had been. It had always been whole. The Father was always available. The feast was always available. And there was always a robe and a ring waiting for him. Yes? It was withheld by his head. Yeah.
Yeah, only apparently.
Only apparently. And then there's a permission that's given. And now you're permitted to give up the fucking search. Yeah. And then the big giant foot from the transcendent sky doesn't come and squish you. Yeah. You find that everything is cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Right out
Yeah.
of Monty Python.
I'm serious. Don't you feel there's guilt that comes with seeking? That if you stop seeking, you're going to get whacked?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. You're getting whacked through the seeking. That's the funny part. You're afraid of getting whacked by stopping, but you have a preconceived idea, but you have no idea what it's going to be like to stop. I'm telling you, it's pretty damn fucking cool. Yeah. Maybe this whole place isn't about progressing and and growing. Maybe that which you are doesn't grow at all. Yeah. Yeah. So if there's too much addiction to the growing and progressing, you may see that you may miss that which doesn't grow or progress. It just is all the time, no matter what else is happening. Yeah. I mean, I always got this, I run into this with the seed assignment, where let's just look at the event of consciousness. Yeah. We have no idea how that's happening, but I look out and I see something. Yes. There's noises going on. I'm not asking for those noises. There's noises. Yeah. There's feelings coming over the nerves. It seems like it's unbidden, and it seems like it's happening without any thought or effort on anything's part. Yeah. So there's that consciousness. Now, some people believe that consciousness is a doorway here into the awareness. So, but why would you believe thought and effort is going to bring you to that which demonstrates no thought or effort?
Doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense at all. Yeah. I mean, all the sweating would only have value by bringing about a recognition there was no need to sweat. That's the value of it, really. Yeah. Just like many of us in recovery, people learn the hard way. Does it have to be that way? No, but there's a big trend that's how it appears. Yes. People resist shit and they fucking deny shit. Then they get their ass kicked over and over again. And then one day something dawns, and now the easier, softer ways available. Yeah. Because they're convinced of something that was a fact to begin with. They finally come to recognize, hey, I'm swimming against the current. And then there's an admitting of the powerlessness, and now they're going with the current. Yeah. Now, was there any requirement for them to meet to go with the current? No, but it had to seem to happen this way. Yes. But when it happens, it's never like the way it seemed to happen. It doesn't demonstrate any thought or effort after we went through a lot of thought or effort to try to arrive there. It doesn't, does it? It actually tells you it's always been this way. What? Yes. So it's a huge issue, bro, to have some kind of clear, undisturbed, not seasonal, not annual, not perennial, not only when I'm here with these people and then it lost. No, something has been put to rest. Yes. And then a lot of those dominoes has fallen with no effort or thought on our part. We're just seeing the effects. Yeah. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So, I mean, why just, and how much do you enjoy having a home when you're out of the home? A lot. Yeah. It brings a lot, the home itself brings a lot of lightness to the experiences outside or away from the home. Yeah.
Yeah, it actually allows us to enjoy them.
Yes, it allows you to, yeah, everyone loves the rain from inside, usually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the snow as long as I have a fucking fireplace. You wouldn't love the snow if you were living out there and you didn't have the right gear. No, you wouldn't. But here, Satsang has delivered a message that you are what you're looking for.
Yeah.
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 Do you know how many races you've run to try to arrive at the goal when you are the goal to begin with? This is what you're relieved of. Yeah. Now now the races are run for different fucking reasons. Artistic expression, joining another, other people, whatever. that intention of using everything to get to a bigger, mythical, better place is gone, completely gone. Yeah. Yeah,
Art. Yeah.
exactly. Then you see, like the weird thing, you're more of an individual when you're not an individual, tell you the truth. Yeah.
Yeah. More freedom.
Because it can just grow the way it just goes. Yes. Yeah. 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 So it's a huge, huge thing, I feel.
Mm.
And it's so huge that you don't know its effects. It's like gravity. It's so comprehensive, you don't know its effects. And when you have effects, you misname them. You think it was the hill or the stairs. Yeah. But no, it's this presence. Yeah. Yeah. So thanks, Gary.
Anyway, thank you, Paul. Thank you.
Thanks, Gary. You ready for David? And then Marty.
Yes.
Hi, David.
Hello, everybody. It's not a question, Paul. It's just to share. So, and I think it's the day before yesterday, or that night before last night. I went to bed, and within about like a couple of minutes, I realised I had a piece of steel in my eye, or something in my eye, because I've had steel in my eye heaps over the years, and I know what it feels like. Anyway, all that night I couldn't sleep, and a thing I sort of realised, because it's happened to me before, is I'd be really agitated normally by that I couldn't sleep. But I sort of said, well, this is pain. It's pain. It's not agitation. There's some pain there, but it's not agitation. So I still couldn't sleep, but I got up. So I got out of bed early the next morning, like in pain, but not in agitation. Anyway, in the interim of all that, my daughter, who's in between jobs at the moment, had rung me that day to ask me if I could give her a day's work just for some money. So I sort of said to myself, well, I'll go into work. I should go and get this taken out, but I'll go into work today because I want my daughter to get a little bit of money. And so I did that, went into work, and this was yesterday, and it was a beautiful day because I got to have lunch with my daughter, and she carried me all day. I was sort of in that much pain, I couldn't do much. But both my daughters have been helping me out doing what I do since they were little kids. They were always hanging around. They're both really good at the job that they do. So they're like the best workers I've got if they want to work with me. So she sort of carried me all day, which I realised. I sort of went, well, I made a bit of money today because of her, because I've done nothing. And then I knocked off early at 4 o'clock. I had this I was in pain the whole time. I don't know if everyone else had been in pain with that on their eye. I don't know what my pain tolerance is like, but I was in a lot of pain, but not agitated. And I went home early, fed the dogs, and I went to myself, righto, I'll catch the train in to the eye and ear hospital, because I don't go to normal doctors when I get stuff in my eye, because some of them can be a bit shaky. So I sort of go to the eye and ear hospital, which is in the city, because they're a lot more steady-handed. And I got down the station, and the first guy I saw was the station master, and I'm shithouse on trains and trams. I travel by car everywhere. But from previous experience, I knew when I came out of the eye and ear hospital, half an hour after the anaesthetic wore off, it's bloody hard to drive under the lights and all that. So I thought I'll take the train. Anyway, the first guy I saw was the station master, and I asked him, when I get off at the end here, which station do I get off at? What tram do I catch? And he stood there for 5 minutes explaining it all to me and showed me on maps on his phone. And I thought, beautiful. And I climbed on the train, and I thought that was lovely of him to do that. I sort of, if you know what I mean, I'm forgetting about the pain because I'm having beautiful little experiences with people. It's out of my head a bit. And then I got off where he said at North Richmond in the city, and I was hungry as anything. And as I walked around the corner to get the tram, there's a kebab shop. So I walked up to the kebab guy, and had a nice conversation with him, and I don't usually buy kebabs because you can get some sus ones, but he made me a ripper kebab. It was a beautiful bloody kebab. And then I got over, I only had to walk 100 metres over to the start of Victoria Street, it's called, in the city. And the tram goes up there. And I just went to myself, oh, I'm going to do the walk. You know, I'm just going to walk up to the INE hospital. It's a lovely night. It's sort of coming on dusk a bit. So it's a beautiful road, a lot of trees and grass and birds and whistling. So I'm just noticing all that stuff, and it's like my eye sort of isn't even hurting. I'm not even noticing anything going on. Get to the INE hospital. I'll cut the long story a bit short, but you go into the INE hospital, and in the where you wait, you've got to go through a lot of stuff. You've got to stand there in a line, which there was no one in the line. I got through really quick, like in about 30 seconds. It always seems to take forever, but it didn't last night. Girls sat down, they processed me and everything really quickly, told me to take a seat. And in these places, I don't know if it happens in America and that now, but there's a lot of signs up all around the walls these days. No angry, no abuse will be tolerated, no anger, all this shit. People must be losing their shit these days in waiting rooms and that, you know. And I'm just, yeah, it's weird. I'm just sitting there reading the signs and all relaxed. And the wait was probably, I'll get to that, but I went in. So the nurse takes me in. She checks my eye out, asks me my name and all this sort of stuff, drops a local anaesthetic in my eye and sends me back out in the waiting room. So all the pain totally went. You know, I could watch the TV and everything for the local anaesthetics in the eye. And I finally get in with the doctor, and he's just a lovely guy. He not only gets the steel out of my eye, but he does, like, checks me for, I think it's called glaucoma, like checks me for eye diseases, does an eye test on me on the other eye, runs the whole gamut, you know, and just a lovely guy to talk to, and very, very, I've got my head in a brace and he's very steady. I can't feel anything. He picks it all out, gets it all out. Lovely guy. And I get, so the whole process, I think I got there about 7 and it was about 1 o'clock when I got home. So I get out and a friend rings me as she texted me before. And this was a beautiful thing. She said, oh, I'll come in and sit with you, you know? And I said, no, that's okay. Like, just concern, wanted to sit with me, you know, just a bit of support. And I said, that's okay. But she came anyway. So I'm walking back down Victoria Street. I did the walk again. I didn't get on the tram. Walking back down Victoria Street in the night, just, and pretty cruisy, everything's good. She texts me again, oh, I'm on the way on the train. So we tried to work out this funny thing. If I got on my train where I was and she was coming in, we could get off at a station. And then I said, no, we can't do that because we won't make platforms in time. It turned into a real fun night. And I ended up getting home and getting to bed about 1 o'clock. But the whole point of the share for me is I've had steel in my eye a lot, which came with a lot of agitation. And I wouldn't have seen any of the beauty in, while I had that in there, in anything that went on for that period of time. But yesterday and last night, I got to see a lot of beauty in everything, even though I was just simply in pain, you know, because I won't say there was no agitation, but there was a hell of a lot less, you know what I mean? So, yeah, and that's thanks to you guys, thanks to all this, really. Yeah. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Well, David, I think now you were going to have a David's corner with the Craig's corner. We're going to have these little like Melbourne parables. Yes. Well, yeah.
Maybe I'll go in.
From the traveling lighter also. Yeah. The traveling lighter is pain without as much agitation.
Yeah. It's funny, you said a thing a while ago. I think you said that fear is a valid emotion.
Yes.
But I think you said agitation isn't. a valid emotion. I think that's what you said.
Oh, yeah, there's mental anxiety, and therefore it's mental. In other
Yeah.
words, it's sort of made up. And then there's fear when something happens when you're in a threat, an apparent threat now.
Yeah.
The mental anxiety makes you have, it mimics the physiological effects of fear, but it's triggered by seemingly so. So things are appearing to be true, but they're not. Yes. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's appearing that you're going to be screwed next week, but you're really not screwed right now. So it's basically, in the Course of Miracles, they would talk a lot about uncaused effects. So the mental state is producing a lot of uncaused effects, yeah, by obsessing over what's not happening. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is exactly with the pain yesterday, the last couple of days, the mental state up here would normally cause tell this a lot of stuff that wasn't going on, but all it was pain. You know, a
Yeah,
bit of,
exactly. So see, yeah, when what we're speaking here, you'll see it demonstrated in snippets of your day. Yeah, just like you just reported. You've had this before, the pain, so there was a familiarity that it wasn't going to kill you, which allowed a rational reaction, which is not so much anxiety, agitation could take hold because you knew better. Yeah.
yeah.
That's very, these are snippets of demonstration of this message working. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's lovely. It's very nice to see those snippets.
Well, it
You know?
is. That's the one part of the real part of it is recognizing it and the joy that comes over you and the gratitude and stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, if you could mimic like the nicest faces of humans, gratitude, devotion, stuff like that are beautiful. I remember when I was at Sai Baba's place in 95, I think it was 95 or 90, whenever, it doesn't matter, but he was alive. And one of the great things I had, there was tons of people there. Sai Baba was a spiritual teacher in India, had massive followings, and he had done a lot of service. At this place, he had built a super incredible, or funded a state-of-the-art hospital that was free for anybody. Yeah. And he actually did a lot of funding education in Nepal and stuff. But here he was. So there was like 10,000 people there, and every day he walked through the crowds, like at 7:30 in the morning and 5:30 in the afternoon. And he had these well-worn ways he could go. So what you would do is get there and you try to sit near on the curb near the little walkway. And a lot of times I would be on this side looking at the people that were looking up at him because he was facing them. And the beauty of their faces was unbelievable. It was such a beautiful, beautiful image to watch. Yeah. So, and I'd see it like every day. It was gorgeous. So this idea of there's a response to the pain, and then there's less agitation. So there's no need for any kind of affirming or saying something or doing. There's loss of interest in it. Yeah. This is beautiful. To me, it's beautiful. So
it was very simple for me. It's like, mate, you're just in pain at the moment. It's simple as that.
Well, it's simple, but it's demonstrated in what you call living here. So living is having something happen and having to deal with it. That's an aspect of living here. And there you go. There was a travel lighter through that aspect of living. And why wouldn't it not have the effect on all aspects of living. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Last
So,
two things just quickly, and you just remind me of something. All that there and at the ear hospital, it was all free. Australia's got a great healthcare system.
yes. Yeah.
Called Medicare. That was all free, which was really appreciated. You know, you don't have to shell out any money at all.
Yeah.
And my self can't get out of self hoodie finally turned up that I bought off your website about 3 months ago. It turned up this week, which
Oh, you did.
yeah, it hadn't been causing me any angst. I just used to say, oh, it's going to get here where it gets here. Stuff takes a long time now, you know.
Wow, great.
Anyway,
Self
thanks.
takes it out of self hoodie. Now you can get into the hoodie now. That's good.
I'm gonna start wearing that around, and people will be wondering what the fuck's he on about. You know? Yeah.
You could have a new T-shirt. Yes, there's pain, but no agitation.
Yeah.
That would be a nice one. If I worked at the hospital, that would be a nice subliminal message.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
There's pain, but there's no agitation.
They should put that sign in the waiting room instead of all the misbehavior,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
tolerated. Thanks,
Yeah.
Paul. Thanks,
See,
everybody.
people, the funny thing is, there's a lot of agitation without pain.
Yeah. Yeah. that you think causes a pain, but it doesn't really. Yeah.
That's right. That's agitation. That's the suffering. Yes. Yeah. Well, it's funny, eh? You're so afraid of pain because of the agitation, but there's plenty of agitation with no pain. The head is agitated. That's its nature.
Yeah.
The head is not at peace. Yeah. It's
No.
not trying to return to its original condition. The head is agitated. It's an activity. It's an activity there's no on or off switch. It's just agitated. Yeah. It desires to become and it desires to unbecome. And it's like a dualistic slinky that goes on, and it tells these fantasy stories of, if only I reached this point, then I would really relax and become at peace. No, there's no point it can reach. Yeah, the peace is not of it. Yeah. Yeah. So, all right, thanks, bro. Anyone else here?
Yes, we now go to John Luna's parlor.
John Luna.
Hey, what's up, Paul? You hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, brother.
Good. So I need your help tonight, like kind of straightening out my head. You know, this understanding that comes and it's here, it's not going anywhere, and it's doing its thing. But it's sort of like the character, you know, the action figure, its life is sort of growing, or there's something moving through me for it to grow, you know, and at the same time, there's some good things happening. And, you know, I meet some woman, I'm like, I can't believe I met this woman, you know, like she's fantastic. But now I have to be like, I have to show up. Like I feel like there's like this, oh, it's time to change and grow. But I think I'm just expressing the feeling, and maybe you can help set me back on track, because I think I went down like a little dark area where I've been, you know, where the understanding hasn't really reached. So maybe from here, you know, I can bring some light into it.
Well, it seems like life's inviting you to take a step. Just, you know, have assurance there's going to be a stair there, because there's going to be. Yeah. There's the idea in AA, they say, you know, God will never give you more than you can handle, but really God will never give you more than it can handle. Yeah. So basically it's time for you to grow out of something and grow into something else. So here's life's invitation. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
And there's nobody doing, like, it feels like you're doing it in a way, but
Well,
there's
don't even go there. Just do it.
No,
Yeah.
just do it.
And if you
Yeah.
don't do it, it's fine, but just say yes.
just say yes, yeah.
Yeah. Like say yes at 11 a.m. and then, hold tight the possibility you could say no, and then just say yes at 11:30 and say less at 11:45. And there you go. And then there'll be a momentum and you'll get caught in that little current and you'll be in the flow. It's
Mm,
not about you. Yeah.
right. And just to
And if
hear,
you shut
just
down, it's fine too. It's not like the end of the world either. I
Right.
mean, I find it's almost like life. It's like love just demanding itself from you. Yeah.
right. That's what it feels like. It doesn't have an end goal, but it just wants a bigger expression.
Yeah. So there you go. And you'll see all your old ideas are just that about it. They're old ideas. Yeah. You've
Yes.
outgrown those old conditions. You're now growing into a new condition. Just go with it. Yeah.
Which is a mystery.
Well, it's a mystery. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, yeah,
Well,
it's
the
just
head, but see, there's
it's
gonna
different.
be your response, and then there's the head's reaction. Just don't see that. Don't let the head's reaction be your response. Just see
Right.
your response to the head's reaction is I'm not that. Yeah. And so if life keeps offering you get on the dance floor, see what happens.
Right. This is about, in a way, like maybe you can say, it's about the remembrance of this becoming more and more just,
Yeah.
right here, right now. Like, yeah,
Actual.
like,
Yeah,
yeah,
not cerebral, but actual.
actual.
Your life's getting bigger.
Right.
Now you realize a lot of what you call you doesn't want that.
Oh my God, Paul, for real, that is right what you said right there. I'm seeing all this stuff that doesn't want that. And it's like, wow, all this stuff was here all along. And I'm thinking I'm trying to get somewhere. And all along, it's been all this stuff that didn't want to get anywhere.
Exactly. There's a giant state of cognitive dissonance. There's a huge aspect of what we're not that doesn't want to go anywhere near where you think you're headed. It's going to drag its feet every step of the way. It is not you. Or if you have a sense of a power that's working in your life, turn it over to that power when you recognize it. Don't have it tell you you've already been turned over to it. See, this is what it says. Self is not an invitation. Self tells you you already are one. That's what it does. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not inviting you. It says you've already made the contract. Yeah. This is a complete bogus, transcending, misleading assumption. Yes.
Right.
It may be uncomfortable, but if you can just sit still and watch it, you'll see the emperor with no clothes. Yeah.
And in seeing that in different situations, sometimes seeing that is not as visceral, it's just there's different intensities to different things. But when the intensity can be a little bit uncomfortable.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
It was safe in the head in a weird way. Yeah?
In a weird way, it's an avoidance.
Well, it can be, yes.
Yeah.
And so somebody wants you to come out and play. That's the way it goes. Yeah.
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 Man.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Man, but the head is just talking stories, and now
care about the head. Yes.
Exactly. Just I needed you to give me a good, the Zen bitch left. That's what I need. So thank you.
Yes, the thing is, see, then you see how the head is using all the spiritual practices and stuff.
Oh, it's always to put it off in the future.
It can be it may be giving it a meaning to avoid just this kind of stuff.
Oh,
Yeah?
exactly. That kind of
And
just.
so now you're really getting the spirit is active. It's an active event. And this isn't like thinking about it, knowing it in your head, trying to understand it. This is the hands out, just put your hand in and it's gonna pull you somewhere. Yeah.
It's
all
not-
right.
yeah, like it's a losing, like it's a done deal. I see that.
Oh, yeah.
It's taking me where it's going to take me.
Yes.
You know, it just has those turbulences where it's like, damn, can I handle this? It just feels like
You can handle it. That's
You
the good
can.
news.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
admit you can handle it, and then something handles it. Yes. Yeah.
Man, you could
Yeah.
just
Everyone wants, I used to see this a lot. We'd be people from other regimens would come to the satsang, and some of them, it was a really important thing for like a cathartic awakening. And so, and then one day at satsang, or we'd go to eat, this lady went into one of those things and she starts, the first thing she wanted to get out of it. I'm saying, this is what you've been asking for fucking months. Yeah, here it is.
that's the mind though. It's never happy. It's
Yeah,
always,
you see it. You see
Yeah.
the bogusness of the head. Yes.
oh my God, it's such a charade.
Yeah, yeah. And it doesn't matter if you accept or not. You're in the dance, no matter what, accepting or not. But go along with it. At least it can be revelatory when you're stepping where you've never stepped before, so to speak. Yes, and you can't rely on the head, and you can't rely on your little practices. There's someone demanding your attention and wants to be with you.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Stasis, no more, because it just can't. You can't. It just can't.
Yeah, I mean, answer the door. Yeah.
That's all. Thanks, Paul, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, bro. And then come back and share about it. This isn't like some of the greatest spiritual mountains you'll climb is going on a first date. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah, exactly.
sitting
Right.
in a room letting someone love you unconditionally when you think you're definitely sure they're wrong about you.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking
Yes.
about. Exactly. Right.
This is what happens.
It's
This
way
is how
more
you
than a
break through
spiritual shit. Yeah.
the shell, and also what they call the spiritual shell. That's supposed to be a big view of a vista. It ain't. Yeah,
Right.
it ain't. Yeah, this is it. You walk on, take a step, and something greets you. Yeah.
You just gotta see. That's it.
Well, yeah. Why not? I
Yeah.
mean, the same old is going to be the same old.
Yeah.
You can be sure of that. But
Yeah.
today could be quite new. So, yeah.
It's a different way of living. Thank you.
Yeah, bro. I'm happy. Your little safe little space is getting
It's getting
shook
screwed
up.
up.
A little. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Okay. I've been waiting for a while, so there you go.
Oh, yeah, good. All right, good. I'm glad you noticed. Okay. Yeah, it's happening for sure. Thank you.
All right, great. Yes. You can't you can see the reliance on the head, yeah, and the head's unreliable. Yeah.
Yes. It's like fake news.
Yeah, so there you go. So thanks, bro. Thank you for feeling safe enough to share. I know, yeah.
No, I mean,
Oh,
honestly,
it warns us never to say a thing about any of this.
no, it's a kind of like a total this attitude of like we're gonna ignore stuff that really happens that's important in real life. But honestly, I know I could talk to you, man. You had that big brother energy, man. So I respect you on a lot of different levels. I appreciate it.
Oh, great. Thank you. Yes. That makes my night. Yeah. All right. Anyone else, Mike?
Yes, Lynn D. Hi, Lynn.
Lynn.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just have a quick question. When David was talking about having steel in his eye and choosing to wait an entire workday and then choosing to walk and enjoy the walk instead of hurrying to the doctor, I'm just don't understand why that just wasn't addressed. It seems like the intelligent thing to do would be, the enlightened thing to do would be to save your eyesight. And,
Hey, enlightenment very rarely does an enlightened thing. Yeah. Yeah.
and he's had steel in his eye before. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight,
I would think that's why he took it the way he took it.
I guess.
See, when the head reacts as if this is the biggest thing that ever happened, and then yet it's somehow familiar to you, it takes a lot of its buzz off. Yeah.
I can't even have an eyelash in my eye. I just think it sounds a little crazy. I'm sorry.
That's
But,
good.
as long as I heard of a guy recently who's been staring at the sun to prove that, whatever, that he's one with consciousness. So
Wow.
steel in your eye. I had Oreos in my mouth. That's about it. I'm sorry. I'm being silly. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right, Lynn. I wasn't suspecting that point of view. That was good.
Well, I
I
just,
know we're
I
pretty
would,
nonchalant.
I know, I would pull
Think when we get
37.
to the emergency room, we're like, oh yeah, deal with the steel tomorrow. You know what I mean?
I've got a,
I'm sorry, I don't show that much concern. I don't
I've
know.
got a whole remember R. Crumb, the cartoonist
R.
R.
Crumb,
Crumb? I have a whole R. Crumb cartoon in my head of him da-di-da-di-da, picking flowers with this giant log in his eye, right?
Well, keep on trucking.
Yes,
That was his philosophy.
that's right.
So there you go. Thanks, Lynn. Thank you.
Thank you.
And don't be sorry, just
I
be
have a
silly.
question.
All right.
I have a
who's second?
question.
All right, Kathleen, yes.
I want to know if next week, if David could tell us the long version of the story.
I think you should make a private audience for that, Kathleen. I'm sure they'd be happy to talk to you.
We will drag queen story hour.
We don't. You don't know how much lenience I'm showing. Passed on my ruthlessness in my live events. I'm becoming like the guy, Mr. Rogers. Come on in to the neighborhood. It's fun. So, all right. Anyone else, Mike? Or we'll call it a night here.
I don't think so. John Luna's hand won't go down, but I think that's just the old hand.
I think it's two old hands up there, Lynn and Luna. Lynn
Yeah.
and Luna. Yeah. All right. Well, then let's. I think it's a nice moment to end it. Eh?
Mm,
No.
yeah, I'm just checking. Ram says, thanks, Paul, in chat.
You're welcome, bro. Yeah. All right. So, Michael, as always, thank you. Yeah. Thanks, Mike. There's the famous cover of Teachings of Huang Po book, John Blofeld. You probably get it for 50 cents on that's amazing, isn't it? Like on Amazon, $1 or something. Yeah. We've got Miss Amelia. There she is. Bill Churchman. Nice to see you, Bill. Kathleen. Yep. You can get the long version anytime, Kathleen. Yeah. Yeah. We got Emerson. Nice to see Emerson in Long Beach. Anu as always. Dan Metro. Nice to meet you, Dan. Sherry, always a pleasure. John K. Jed, Jeb, John, David. Yeah. Deborah and Alberta. Talk about cold. It must be cold up there. Irene M. Nice to see you, Irene. Alan, as always. Teresa S. Nice to see Teresa. Susan H. I had the pleasure to see Susan a little couple of weeks ago. She came to a live meeting. She used to go before. Nice. Gary C. Gary, we're gonna be up in Auburn at the end of the month. We'll have it on the website.
Cool.
Yeah, we're
Sounds
gonna
good.
speak. We're gonna speak in Auburn at Maria's house. I think you were there last time. No, you weren't.
No,
When
but
she-
I'd like to be.
Yeah, he
Yeah, we-
was. No, oh, not Maria's house, but that other time we
Yeah,
went
we're
to
gonna
the-
be there
yeah.
for a day or two. So yeah, I'll see you then. Eh?
Great. Okay.
Yeah, and I'll see you
Will do.
now. But yeah, a couple. Weeks. Greg, nice to see you, bro. You feeling all right there in Minneapolis?
I'm feeling great.
Oh, great.
Thanks, Paul.
Chris B in Massachusetts. Yeah. Miranda. Yeah, there she is. She had a Laurie. Nice to see Laurie. Marty. I think the Wi-Fi's been good tonight. Yes, Michael?
Yes.
Oh, great. Eh?
Excellent, Paul. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. David, yes, we saw him. Let's see, Chris, Jeff P from Southern Cal. Shannon must have gotten a little warmer. She's taken off the tundra hat. Craig May, don't worry, Craig. There's big enough room for two corners in Zen Bitch Lab. It's Greg and David. Yes, both in Melbourne. Don't know who this. I don't know. I think this is LJ. Nice to see LJ. How are you? Yeah. Ram Charan, thanks for staying around to say hello there, bro. And goodbye. We got James in Japan. Wow, nice to see you, James. Is this your first time here or no?
Hi, yeah, first time. I think I've arrived just in time for the end, but
Oh, really? Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
because we have
Good to be
daylight
here.
saving time. Well, if you
Yeah.
you want to ask anything quickly, I'm fine. We can stay a little.
Oh, no, I'm just I've been interested watching these videos, these meetings online on YouTube, and yeah, I'm really interested. The message really resonates. Yeah, for the past year or so, I kind of got relatives in Ukraine, and I was really upset about that for a while. And I kind of was looking for something about spirituality in Ukraine, and that got me onto a Rupert Spira thing. And through that, I got into non-duality. And then I thought non-duality and steps must, I'd love to find out more about that kind of combination. And I don't know, just, yeah, managed to find my way here. And yeah, it's interesting. So thank you for the message. And yeah. It's good to be
thank you,
here.
James. Thanks. And yeah, if we were in daylight saving time, so that's what's throwing maybe things off. So right now in America, it's 8:16 p.m. West Coast. Just so you know.
Yeah, you're America.
Yeah, West Coast. Yeah. West
It's
Coast.
Thursday here.
We are the best coast, but West Coast. Yeah. Yeah. So there. All right. Nice to see you, James. I'll see you again, hopefully. Yeah. And we got Zoe. Nice to see Zoe. She is in the East Coast area.
I think she's in the middle.
Central time, yeah. It's
Central
10,
time.
10:16 here.
Oh, all right. There you go. Well, we got Susanna W. She's in Weston. She's on the West Coast. I know that. Chris B, John Luna, Mike M, Grateful Dave, Mia. Mia's
Thanks,
back.
Paul.
Thank you. Mia is back in Australia, in Adelaide, I think.
Mm.
Yes, so I think I got everyone. If I missed you, I apologize, and we'll see you soon. We have the recovery thing at 10:30 Pacific time in the morning, and then Saturday a live and Zoom at 1 p.m. Pacific time. So, and with the idea of Sicily, we may change the place that we're going to have the retreat. I was hoping to get it a little more, a smaller, but we're working on it. So just, yeah. Okay. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you guys soon.
Thank you. Good
Thanks,
night.
Paul.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.